They say you can't speak without a head. They say it's medically impossible, just nerves firing, muscles twitching, the last electrical storms of a dying brain. But I'm telling you right now, with my hand on this Bible, that when my brother's head hit the sand that morning, his lips moved. His eyes opened. And he spoke 3 words that shattered everything my family believed. I was standing 20 feet away when the sword came down. I can still hear the sound, not like in the movies, not clean. It was wet. Final. The kind of sound that carves itself into your soul and never leaves. My brother's blood sprayed across the white marble courtyard, painting the stones my grandfather built, desecrating the palace where we'd played as children. But before I tell you about that impossible moment, the moment that destroyed my family and saved my life, I need to take you back. Back to when I thought I knew everything. Back to when I believed the lies. Back to the golden cage where this nightmare began. My name doesn't matter anymore. The person I was died in that palace. But you need to understand who I was to understand what Jesus rescued me from. I was a prince. Not the fairy tale kind, the real kind. The kind with armed guards outside my bedroom and diplomatic immunity and a trust fund that could buy a small country. I grew up in a palace with 73 rooms, 16 fountains, and 0 freedom. The marble floors were so polished you could see your reflection, so cold they numbed your feet even through silk slippers. But nothing was as cold as my father's eyes when he looked at me. You know what's funny? People think being royalty means you have everything. They see the gold-trimmed robes, the private jets, the endless luxury. They don't see the chains. They're just made of silk instead of iron. Every morning, I woke to the call to prayer echoing through speakers my father had installed in every corner of the palace. Allahu Akbar. God is greater. I would stumble out of bed, perform wudu, washing my hands, my face, my feet, and kneel on an imported Persian prayer rug worth more than most people's houses. I would press my forehead to the ground and recite the words I'd memorized before I could write my own name. But here's what I never told anyone: I felt nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was like praying to the ceiling. Like shouting into a void and hearing only my own echo. I would kneel there, surrounded by luxury that kings from centuries past couldn't imagine, and feel completely, utterly alone. Have you ever felt that? That hollow ache in your chest, like something's missing but you don't even know what it is? I had 2 brothers. Khalid was the oldest, my father's favorite, his perfect soldier, the one being groomed to inherit the throne. Everything Khalid did was right. Everything he touched turned to gold in my father's eyes. He was strong where I was weak, certain where I doubted, ruthless where I hesitated. Then there was Ahmed, my younger brother, my best friend, the one who would sneak into my room after midnight, after the guards changed shifts, and we'd talk about everything, about the world beyond our walls, about the questions we weren't allowed to ask, about whether there was more to life than duty and tradition and the suffocating weight of our family name. Ahmed had these eyes, warm, brown, always searching for something. Always questioning. Our father hated that about him. Too soft, he would say. Too Western. Too influenced by those Christians and their corruption. I remember one night, I must have been 17, Ahmed 15, we sat on the balcony of my room, looking out over the city lights. The smell of oud incense drifted up from the courtyard where my mother was entertaining guests. Ahmed turned to me, and his voice was barely a whisper. Do you ever wonder if there's a God who actually loves us? My heart stopped. You have to understand, questions like that could get you killed. Even in your own family. Especially in your own family. Be careful, I hissed, glancing at the door. If Baba hears you. I'm tired of being careful. Ahmed's voice cracked. I'm tired of praying to someone who never answers. I'm tired of being afraid all the time. I grabbed his shoulder, squeezed hard. We all are. But this is our life. This is our destiny. We don't get to choose. But Ahmed kept staring at those city lights like they held some answer I couldn't see. And in that moment, I saw something in his face, a hunger, a desperation, a dangerous hope. I should have paid more attention. I should have asked him what he was really saying. Because 6 months later, Ahmed would make a choice that would cost him everything. And I would be forced to watch as my father, our father, gave the order that no father should ever give. If you're watching this, and you've ever felt trapped by religion, by family, by tradition, by fear, I need you to keep listening. Because what happened next changed everything. It shattered my perfect palace prison. It revealed who my father really was. And it introduced me to a God I didn't even believe existed. The announcement came on a Thursday evening. I remember because it was the night before Jummah prayer, and the palace was being prepared for my father's important guests. Servants rushed through hallways carrying silver platters. The smell of spiced lamb and saffron rice filled the air. My mother was in her chambers, draped in an emerald abaya that cost more than most people earn in a lifetime, directing the staff with the precision of a military general. I was in the library, my favorite room, lined with books in Arabic, English, French. Books on history, philosophy, religion. All carefully curated, of course. All approved. Nothing that might contaminate our minds with dangerous ideas. That's when Khalid found me. He stood in the doorway, blocking the light, his shadow stretching across the marble floor like a dark prophecy. He was wearing his military uniform, crisp, decorated, designed to intimidate. And it worked. "Father wants to see you," he said. His voice was flat. Empty. "Both of us. Now." Something in his tone made my blood run cold. This wasn't a normal summons. This was different. "What's wrong?" I asked, closing my book. Khalid's jaw tightened. His eyes, usually so confident, so certain, flickered with something I'd never seen before. Was it fear? Disgust? Grief? "It's Ahmed," he said. And then he turned and walked away, leaving me alone with those two words hanging in the air like a noose. My hands started shaking. Because I knew. Somehow, in that moment, I knew that everything was about to change. That the fragile world I'd built, the careful balance of obedience and secret doubt, was about to come crashing down. I stood up. My legs felt weak. The library suddenly seemed too small, too dark, closing in around me. I could hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears, could taste something metallic and bitter on my tongue. Fear. I walked through those gilded hallways toward my father's office, and every step felt like walking toward my own execution. I had no idea how right I was. My father's office smelled like power and death. That's the only way I can describe it. Leather. Tobacco. Expensive cologne that couldn't quite mask something darker underneath, something like decay, like rot, like the stench of secrets buried but never truly dead. The walls were lined with weapons, antique swords, daggers, rifles passed down through generations of men who believed violence was legacy. He sat behind his desk, a massive thing carved from black walnut, inlaid with gold. Behind him hung a portrait of his father, and his father's father, their eyes cold and judging, watching everything. My father didn't look up when I entered. He was reading something, a document in his hands, and the silence stretched out like a blade being slowly unsheathed. Khalid stood to the right, rigid as a soldier. His face was stone. I stopped 3 paces from the desk. Protocol. Distance. Respect. Or what my family called respect, really just fear wrapped in tradition. "Sit," my father said. I sat. He finally looked up, and I felt my stomach drop. "You know how predators look at prey?" That's what I saw in his eyes. Not anger, anger would have been better. This was something colder. Calculation. Like he was solving a problem, and the solution involved blood. My father was 53, but he looked ageless, like something carved from granite and cruelty. His beard was perfectly trimmed, streaked with gray that somehow made him look more dangerous, not less. His hands were thick, scarred from his youth in the military, from whatever violence had shaped him into this. "Do you know why you're here?" His voice was quiet. That's how I knew I was in danger. My father only whispered when he was truly angry. "No, Baba." My voice came out smaller than I wanted. He slid the document across the desk. "Read." My hands trembled as I picked it up. It was a report typed official, with a government seal at the top. As I read, the words started to blur, started to swim, because what I was seeing couldn't be real. Subject: Ahmed bin, redacted, offense: apostasy. Conversion to Christianity. Evidence: testimony from palace staff. Confiscated materials. Surveillance footage. Recommendation: immediate tribunal. Sharia law enforcement. The paper slipped from my fingers. "No," I whispered. "No, this is a mistake. Ahmed would never." Ahmed was found with a Bible. My father's voice cracked like a whip. "In his room. Under his mattress." He wasn't just reading it, he was praying to their dead God. He told the guard who found him that Jesus Christ is his Lord. The room spun. I gripped the arms of the chair to keep from falling. "One of the servants must have planted it," I said desperately. "Someone trying to hurt our family, to embarrass you." He confessed. My father's fist slammed down on the desk, and I flinched. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. He looked me in the eye, my son looked me in the eye, and said, "I follow Jesus now. He is the way, the truth, and the life." The way my father said Jesus' name, like it was poison, like it burned his mouth, made something twist inside me. "Where is he?" I asked. "Where's Ahmed?" "In the holding cell. Where traitors belong." "He's not a traitor. He's your son." The slap came so fast I didn't see it. One moment I was sitting upright, the next my head snapped to the side, my cheek exploding in pain, the taste of blood filling my mouth. I'd bitten my tongue. "He was my son," my father said, standing now, towering over me. The moment he rejected Allah, the moment he bowed to that carpenter's false prophet, he ceased to be my blood. He is nothing. Less than nothing. I looked up at him through watering eyes, and in that moment, I saw him clearly for the first time in my life. This wasn't a father. This was a monster wearing a father's face. His eyes were black holes, empty, void, consuming everything around them and giving nothing back. Dead eyes. Killer's eyes. What are you going to do to him? I barely recognized my own voice. My father sat back down, straightened his papers, composed himself. When he spoke again, his voice was perfectly calm. That terrified me more than his rage. Sharia law is clear on apostasy. The punishment is death. The word hung in the air between us. Death. Such a simple word. Such a final word. "You can't," I said. "Baba, please, he's 15 years old. He's confused, he has corrupted himself with Western lies." My father's voice never wavered. "He has brought shame upon this family. upon our bloodline, upon our faith. If I let this stand, what message does that send? That we are weak? That we compromise? That we allow our sons to spit on everything we believe? So you'll kill him? Your own child? I will do what Allah commands, what honor demands. He looked at me then, really looked at me, and I saw something calculating in his expression. And you will witness it. My blood turned to ice. What? You and Khalid will stand witness when judgment is carried out. The family must show unity. We must show that we value Allah's law above our own flesh. I looked at Khalid. My older brother stared straight ahead, jaw clenched, a muscle twitching in his cheek. He wouldn't look at me. Couldn't look at me. I won't, I said. I won't watch you murder my brother. My father leaned forward, and his smile was the most terrible thing I'd ever seen, not angry, not cruel. Pleased. You will. Or you'll join him. The threat landed like a physical blow. This wasn't hyperbole. This wasn't a father's frustrated discipline. He meant it. I could see it in his eyes. He would kill me too. Without hesitation. Without remorse. When? My voice cracked. 3 days. At dawn. In the courtyard. He opened another drawer, pulled out a stack of papers. The tribunal will convene tomorrow to make it official, but the verdict is already decided. I've made sure of it. Of course he had. My father didn't just rule our family, he had connections throughout the government, the religious leadership, the military. What he wanted, he got. Who he wanted gone, disappeared. Can I see him? I asked. Can I talk to Ahmed? Please. My father considered this. His fingers drummed on the desk, a sound like a countdown, like a ticking clock measuring the last hours of my brother's life. 1 hour. Tonight. Khalid will escort you. He looked at my older brother. Make sure he says nothing that could corrupt Ahmed further. And make sure Ahmed understands that repentance is still possible. If he recants his apostasy, denounces this Christian heresy, and begs Allah's forgiveness publicly, I might show mercy. Mercy. The word sounded obscene coming from his mouth. Dismissed, my father said, already turning back to his papers, like he'd just discussed a business transaction instead of his son's execution. I stood on legs that barely held me. Khalid grabbed my arm hard, fingers digging in, and pulled me toward the door. As we left, I heard my father's voice one more time, soft and cold. Remember, my son. The family comes first. Always. Before love. Before mercy. Before everything. The door closed behind us with a sound like a tomb ceiling shut. The hallway stretched before us, endless, suffocating. My feet moved automatically, but I couldn't feel them. Couldn't feel anything except the crushing weight of what I'd just learned. Ahmed. My little brother. The one who used to climb into my bed during thunderstorms when he was 7. The one who laughed at my jokes even when they weren't funny. The one who asked questions no one else dared to ask. He was going to die. In 3 days. At dawn. And I was supposed to watch. Khalid, I started, but he cut me off. Don't. His voice was harsh, raw. Don't say anything. We walked in silence until we reached a more secluded corridor. Then Khalid stopped abruptly, spun around, and shoved me against the wall. Not violently, desperately. What was he thinking? Khalid's face was inches from mine, and for the first time, I saw past his perfect soldier mask. He looked terrified. What was Ahmed thinking? A Bible? Jesus? Does he have any idea what he's done? Did you know? I asked. Did you know about any of this? Khalid's eyes darted away. I suspected. Last month, I saw him watching something on his phone, some Christian video. I told him to delete it. Told him to be careful. I thought, his voice broke. I thought he listened. We have to do something, I said. We have to help him escape. Get him out of the country, somewhere father can't. Are you insane? Khalid's fingers dug into my shoulders. You heard him. If we help Ahmed, we die too. Father will kill us all. He's already made up his mind. This isn't about Islam or Allah or honor, this is about power. About control. About showing everyone that he's untouchable, that he'll destroy even his own son to maintain his image. So we just let it happen. Tears burned in my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. We just stand there and watch our brother die. Khalid's face twisted with anguish. We survive. That's what we do. We survive. He released me, stepped back, ran his hands through his hair. For a moment, he looked young, not like the decorated soldier, the perfect prince, but like a scared boy pretending to be brave. I loved him too, Khalid whispered. I love him. But he made his choice. And now we have to make ours. He walked away, his footsteps echoing down the marble hallway, leaving me alone with the weight of his words. He made his choice. But what choice did Ahmed really have? The choice to keep lying? To keep praying to a God who never answered? To keep pretending the emptiness wasn't eating him alive from the inside out? For the first time in my life, I wondered, what if Ahmed was braver than all of us? What if he'd found something worth dying for? And what if I was the coward for not even asking what it was? That night, I couldn't eat. My mother had sent servants to my room with a feast: roasted lamb, saffron rice, honeyed dates, all my favorite foods. The kind of meal she always ordered when she sensed something was wrong, like somehow enough food could fill the holes in our family. The trays sat untouched on my table, growing cold, the smell turning my stomach. I stood at my window, staring out at the palace gardens below. Moonlight painted everything silver: the fountains, the roses, the perfectly manicured hedges. Beautiful and dead. Like everything else in this place. Somewhere in this palace, Ahmed was locked in a cell. Alone. Waiting to die. And I was standing here, doing nothing. I pressed my forehead against the cool glass and finally let myself cry. Not loud, I'd learned long ago how to cry silently, how to let the tears fall without making a sound that guards could hear through doors. In our family, weakness was dangerous. Emotion was vulnerability. And vulnerability got you killed. But I couldn't hold it in anymore. My little brother was going to be executed. Beheaded. His head severed from his body like he was nothing, like he was garbage, like 15 years of life could be erased with one swing of a sword. And why? Because he'd read a book. Because he'd prayed to a different God. Because he'd dared to think for himself in a family where thinking was the most dangerous thing you could do. I slid down to the floor, back against the wall, and pulled my knees to my chest. The marble was cold beneath me, seeping through my clothes, making me shiver. Or maybe that was just the fear. Allah, I whispered into the darkness. Allah, please. Please help him. Please save him. He's just a boy. He's just confused. Please. Nothing. Just the sound of my own breathing, ragged and desperate in the silence. I tried again, louder this time. Allah, I'm begging you. Take me instead. Kill me. Punish me. But please, spare Ahmed. He's innocent. He's... My voice cracked and broke. The words dissolved into sobs. I waited for something. Anything. A feeling of peace. A sign. A voice in my head telling me what to do, how to save him, how to fix this nightmare. But there was nothing. Just emptiness. Just the same hollow void I'd felt every time I'd prayed, every time I pressed my face to the ground and recited words that meant nothing, changed nothing, helped nothing. Have you ever screamed into silence and realized nobody's listening? That's what it felt like. Like praying to a wall. Like begging the ceiling for mercy. I'd been Muslim my entire life. I'd prayed 5 times a day since I was 6 years old. I'd fasted during Ramadan until my stomach ached and my head pounded. I'd memorized entire chapters of the Quran, recited them in Arabic until my tongue went numb. I'd followed every rule, kept every law, done everything I was supposed to do. And for what? Where was Allah now? Where was he when my father signed my brother's death warrant? Where was he when a 15-year-old boy was thrown in a cell for asking questions? I thought about all the prayers I'd prayed over the years. All the times I'd asked for help, for guidance, for something to fill the emptiness inside me. And I'd got nothing. Not once. Not ever. Why won't you answer me? I screamed at the ceiling, not caring anymore if guards heard me, if my father found out. Why won't you help us? The silence was deafening. I stood up, stumbled across my room to the corner where I kept my prayer rug. It was expensive Persian silk, hand-woven, with intricate patterns in gold and blue. A gift from my father on my 16th birthday. I'd treasured it once. Now I wanted to burn it. I fell to my knees on that rug, assumed the position I'd assumed thousands of times before. Forehead to the ground. Hands pressed flat. The posture of submission. Of surrender. Allahu Akbar, I whispered. God is greater. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. I repeated it like a mantra, like magic words that could somehow change reality if I just said them enough times, believed them hard enough. But I didn't believe them. Not anymore. Because if God was greater, then why was evil winning? Why was my father, a murderer in expensive robes, still in power? Why were innocent people punished for seeking truth? I prayed the Maghrib prayer. Then Isha. I prayed them perfectly, exactly as I'd been taught, every word in its place, every movement precise. And I felt absolutely nothing. No peace. No comfort. No presence. Just me, alone in a room, talking to myself while my brother waited to die. I don't know how long I stayed there, kneeling on that rug, cycling through prayers I'd memorized before I understood what they meant. Hours maybe. Long enough for my knees to ache, for my back to cramp, for exhaustion to make my vision blur. Finally, I collapsed sideways onto the floor, still half on the prayer rug, and stared at nothing. I'm drowning, I whispered to the empty room. And you can't hear me. Or you don't care. I don't know which is worse. A knock at my door made me jolt upright. It's time, Khalid's voice came through the wood. Father is allowing you to see Ahmed now. I dragged myself to my feet, wiped my face, tried to compose myself. My eyes were swollen from crying, my throat raw from whispered prayers that went nowhere. I looked in the mirror, I looked like death. Pale. Hollow. Broken. Good. That's how I felt. Khalid was waiting in the hallway with 2 guards. His face was carefully blank, but I noticed his hands were trembling slightly. He was better at hiding it than me, but he was just as terrified. We walked through the palace in silence, The halls were darker at night, lit only by dim sconces that cast long shadows. Our footsteps echoed like drumbeats, like a funeral march. The holding cells were in the basement, a part of the palace I'd only seen once before, years ago, when my father had taken us down to show us what happened to people who betrayed our family. I remembered cages, chains, stains on the concrete floor that looked like rust but weren't. The guard unlocked a heavy metal door, and the smell hit me first: damp stone, mold, something sharper underneath. Fierce sweat. The smell of people who knew they were going to die. Ahmed's cell was at the end of a narrow corridor. Bars from floor to ceiling. A concrete slab for a bed. A bucket in the corner. No windows. No light except what filtered in from the hallway. He sat on the slab with his back against the wall, and when he heard us coming, he looked up. My heart shattered. His face was bruised, a black eye, split lip, swelling along his jaw. They'd beaten him. My little brother, who'd never hurt anyone in his life, who used to cry when we found injured birds in the garden. They'd beaten him like an animal. Ahmed, my voice broke. I'm okay, he said quickly, standing up. He moved stiffly, like his ribs hurt. I'm okay, I promise. Who did this to you? I gripped the bars so hard my knuckles went white. Who touched you? It doesn't matter. Ahmed came closer, and even through the bruises, even in this nightmare, there was something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Something that looked almost like peace. How could he look peaceful? How could he look calm? You have 1 hour, Khalid said behind me. His voice was thick. I'll be right here. Don't say anything stupid, Ahmed. Please. Ahmed smiled, actually smiled at Khalid. Thank you for bringing him. Then Ahmed looked at me, and I saw tears gathering in his eyes. I'm so glad I get to see you one more time. Don't talk like that, I said desperately. We're going to fix this. We're going to find a way to. There is no way. Ahmed's voice was gentle. Certain. I know what's going to happen. Father told me himself. Dawn, 3 days from now. It's decided. Then take it back. I was shouting now, I didn't care. Tell them you lied. Tell them you were confused, that you renounced Jesus, that you're still Muslim. Please, Ahmed. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Just say the words. I don't care if you believe them, just say them and save your life. Ahmed reached through the bars and grabbed my hand. His fingers were cold, shaking, but his grip was firm. Listen to me, he said. I need you to understand something. For the first time in my life, I'm not afraid. Do you hear me? I'm not afraid anymore. You should be. You're going to die. I know. His voice was steady, strong, and I'm ready. I stared at him like he'd lost his mind. Maybe he had. Maybe whatever they'd done to him, whatever Christian propaganda he'd consumed, had broken something in his brain. How can you say that? I whispered. How can you be ready to die? You're 15 years old. You haven't lived yet. You haven't. I hadn't lived, Ahmed interrupted. Not really. Not until I met Jesus. There it was. That name again. Jesus. The name that had condemned him. The name he refused to deny. What is so special about him? I demanded. What could possibly be worth dying for? He's dead, Ahmed. He died 2,000 years ago. Allah is. Allah never answered me, Ahmed said quietly. Not once. Not ever. I prayed and prayed and prayed, and all I got was silence. Emptiness. Nothing. His eyes locked onto mine. Tell me you haven't felt it too. Tell me you haven't wondered why our prayers bounce off the ceiling and fall back down unanswered. I couldn't. Because he was right. He was absolutely right. But Jesus, Ahmed's face transformed when he said the name. Jesus answered. He came to me in a dream 3 months ago, and he spoke to me. Not in riddles or ancient Arabic I barely understand. In words I could hear, in a voice that felt like home. Dreams don't mean anything, I said, but my voice lacked conviction. He told me he loved me. Not because I was a prince. Not because I prayed the right prayers or followed the right rules. Just because I'm his. Because he made me. Because he died for me. Tears were streaming down Ahmed's face now. Do you understand? He died for me. Not to punish me. Not to test me. To save me. I wanted to argue. Wanted to tell him he was brainwashed, deceived, confused. But I couldn't speak. Because something in his words made the emptiness inside me ache even worse. I've never felt love like that, Ahmed whispered. Not from Father. Not from Allah. From no one. But Jesus. He loves me. And nothing, not prison, not torture, not even death, can take that away from me. I can't lose you, I choked out. You're my brother. You're my best friend. Please don't leave me alone with them. Ahmed pressed his forehead against the bars, and I did the same, so close I could feel his breath. You're not alone, he said. You never have to be alone again. Jesus is real. He's waiting for you too. And when it's over, I'm going to be with him. Really with him. Not separated by bars or death or anything. I'll be home. I don't believe in your Jesus, I said, but even as I spoke the words, I wondered if they were true. You will, Ahmed said softly. I've been praying for you. Every hour, every day since I found him. And I know that he's going to reach you too. Behind me, Khalid cleared his throat. Time's almost up. No. Not yet. Not enough time. Never enough time. Ahmed, I didn't know what to say. How do you say goodbye to your brother? How do you walk away knowing you'll never speak to him again? Promise me something, Ahmed said urgently, squeezing my hand tighter. Promise me you'll look for the truth. Not what Father tells you. Not what the imams say. The truth. Promise me you won't stop asking questions. I promise, I whispered. And when you find it, Ahmed smiled through his tears. When you meet Jesus like I know you will, tell people about him. Tell them what happened to me. Tell them it was worth it. Ahmed. Tell them my death meant something. Promise me. I promise. Khalid's hand on my shoulder, pulling me back. We have to go. I love you, Ahmed said. I'll see you again. Maybe not here. But someday. I promise. Then the guard was dragging me away, and I was screaming Ahmed's name, and Khalid was holding me back, and the metal door slammed shut between us with a sound like the end of the world. Back in my room, I fell apart completely. I lay on my bed and sobbed until I couldn't breathe, until my chest hurt, until there was nothing left inside me but emptiness and rage. I'd prayed. I'd begged. I'd pleaded with Allah to save my brother. And he'd done nothing. Ahmed said Jesus answered him. Said Jesus loved him. Said he wasn't afraid to die because of some carpenter god who'd been crucified 2,000 years ago. It sounded insane. It sounded impossible. But Ahmed, my little brother, my best friend, believed it so much that he was willing to die for it. What could make someone that certain? What could give someone that kind of peace in the face of death? I rolled over and stared at the ceiling, exhausted, empty, desperate. And for the first time in my life, I prayed to someone other than Allah. I didn't know how. Didn't know if it would work. Didn't even know if I believed. But I whispered into the darkness, Jesus, if you're real, if you're really out there, show me. Please. Because I can't do this anymore. I can't live in this emptiness. I can't watch my brother die for nothing. Nothing happened. No voice. No vision. No burning bush or divine revelation. Just silence. A different kind of silence than before. Not empty exactly. Just waiting. Like someone had finally heard me. And soon, very soon, they were going to answer. The next day felt like walking through a nightmare where everything looked normal but nothing was real. I sat through breakfast with my mother, picking at food I couldn't taste. She talked about the upcoming state dinner, about which diplomat's wife had gained weight, about whether the new gardener was pruning the roses correctly. Small talk. Meaningless noise to fill the void where our family used to be. She didn't mention Ahmed. Not once. It was like he'd already been erased. Already dead. Already buried in the part of our family history we don't speak about. I wanted to scream at her. Wanted to grab her by her designer abaya and shake her until she acknowledged that her son, her baby, the one she'd carried in her womb, nursed at her breast, rocked to sleep, was going to be murdered in 2 days. But I didn't. Because I saw it in her eyes when she thought I wasn't looking, the redness, the swelling, the careful makeup that couldn't quite hide the evidence of tears shed in private. She knew. She was dying inside just like I was. But in our family, love came second to loyalty. And loyalty meant silence. After breakfast, I wandered the palace like a ghost. The tribunal was meeting somewhere in the West Wing, religious leaders my father had handpicked, judges who owed him favors, officials who valued their positions more than justice. They were making it official, writing documents that would turn fratricide into righteousness, murder into martyrdom for the faith. I couldn't go there. Couldn't watch them legalize my brother's execution. Instead, I found myself walking toward Ahmed's room. 2 guards stood outside his door, not to keep him in, since he was already locked in the basement, but to keep people out. To preserve evidence, they'd said. As if Ahmed's private space was now a crime scene. I need to go in, I told them. They exchanged glances. Prince Khalid's orders were. I'm a prince too, I said, with more authority than I felt. And I'm ordering you to let me in. Unless you want to explain to my father why you prevented his son from retrieving something valuable. The lie worked. They unlocked the door. Ahmed's room was smaller than mine, he was the youngest, so he got the smallest quarters. But he'd always said he preferred it that way. Cozy, he called it. More like a real room instead of a museum. The space still smelled like him, his cologne, the mint tea he always drank before bed, something uniquely Ahmed that I couldn't name. Seeing his things, his books stacked neatly on the desk, his clothes hung in the closet, his prayer rug rolled in the corner, made my throat close up. He was never coming back here. This room would be emptied, reassigned, erased. Like he never existed. I didn't know what I was looking for. I just needed to be close to him somehow, to understand what had changed him so completely that he'd choose death over denial. I started searching. Carefully at first, then more frantically. His desk drawers, notebooks from school, old letters, photos of us as children. His closet, clothes, shoes, nothing unusual. Under his bed, I pulled up the mattress, knowing the report had said they'd found the Bible here, but it was gone now. Confiscated. Evidence. But there had to be something else. Ahmed wouldn't have kept just one forbidden thing. He was smarter than that. I stood in the center of his room, turning slowly, trying to think like my little brother. Where would he hide something he desperately wanted to keep but knew could get him killed? My eyes landed on the bookshelf. It was full of approved books, Quran commentaries, Islamic history, some literature, textbooks from his tutors. I ran my fingers along the spines, pulling out random volumes, shaking them to see if anything fell out. Nothing. Then I noticed something odd. One book sat slightly forward from the others, not much, maybe a quarter inch, but enough to catch my attention. It was a thick volume on Islamic architecture, boring as dirt. The kind of book you'd assign someone as punishment. I pulled it out and something was wedged behind it, pushed deep into the space between the books and the back of the shelf. A phone. Not Ahmed's regular phone. My father monitored those, checked them randomly, controlled what apps we could download. This was a cheap smartphone, the kind you could buy with cash at any electronics market, untraceable, unregistered. A secret phone. My hands shook as I pulled it out. It was old, scratched, the screen cracked in one corner. But when I pressed the power button, it lit up. Still charged. No password. Ahmed had left it accessible. Maybe he'd known someone would find it. Maybe he'd wanted someone to find it. The home screen was simple, just a few apps. A web browser. A notes app. And a video player with dozens of downloaded files. I sat on Ahmed's bed, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Every rational part of my brain screamed at me to put the phone down, destroy it, get out of this room before someone caught me. Possession of this device could implicate me too. Could make my father wonder if I was also corrupted. But I had to know. Had to understand what had reached through Ahmed's perfect Islamic education and captured his heart so completely that he'd trade his life for it. I opened the video player. The files had names like the Gospel of John, Jesus heals the blind man, who was Jesus Christ, the crucifixion and resurrection, Islamic scholar converts to Christianity, his story. I clicked on one at random, the Sermon on the Mount. The video was simple, low production quality. A man with a kind face sat in a plain room, speaking directly to the camera. He had a slight Arabic accent, and something about his expression reminded me of Ahmed, that same searching, hungry look, like he'd found water after a lifetime of thirst. "Let me read you the words of Jesus," the man said, opening a book. From the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5. "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God." I don't know why, but tears started rolling down my face before he even finished. These words, they were nothing like the Quran. Nothing like the harsh pronouncements, the threats of hellfire, the endless rules about who was clean and unclean, righteous and wicked, saved and damned. These words were soft. Like they were speaking to something broken inside me that I didn't even know existed. "Blessed are the peacemakers," the man continued, "for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Persecuted because of righteousness. Ahmed. He was being persecuted. He was going to be killed. And according to these words Jesus supposedly spoke, he was blessed? It sounded backward. Insane. completely contrary to everything I'd been taught about God rewarding the righteous with wealth and power and success. But something about it rang true in a way that made my chest ache. I watched video after video, losing track of time. Stories of Jesus healing the sick, touching lepers that everyone else avoided, eating with prostitutes and tax collectors and sinners. Stories of him standing up to religious leaders who cared more about rules than people. Stories of him saying that the last would be first, that the greatest must be the servant, that whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for his sake will find it. Then I found the video that changed everything. It was titled "The Crucifixion: Why Jesus Had to Die." A different teacher, this one an older man with gray hair and gentle eyes. He spoke softly, but his words hit like hammers. "Many people wonder why Jesus died," he said. "If he was God's son, if he was sinless and perfect, why would God allow him to be tortured and crucified like a common criminal? The answer is love. You see, God is perfectly just. He cannot ignore sin. He cannot simply overlook our rebellion, our failures, our broken relationship with him. Justice demands payment. But God is also perfectly loving. He doesn't want to punish us. He wants to restore us, to bring us back into relationship with him. So he did something that no other religion teaches. He paid the price himself." I leaned closer to the screen, barely breathing. Jesus, God in human flesh, took on himself the punishment we deserved. Every sin, every failure, every moment of rebellion against God was placed on Jesus as he hung on that cross. He absorbed God's wrath so that we wouldn't have to. He died so that we could live. The man's voice grew thick with emotion. This is why the gospel is called good news. Because we don't have to earn our way to God. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to pray enough or fast enough or follow enough rules. Jesus did it all. He paid it all. And now he offers us forgiveness, complete, total, permanent forgiveness as a free gift. All we have to do is believe. All we have to do is accept it. I paused the video, my hand shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. Everything in my Islamic education, everything I'd been taught since childhood, said that salvation was earned. That on the day of judgment, your good deeds would be weighed against your bad deeds, and if you were lucky, if you'd prayed enough, fasted enough, followed enough rules, pleased Allah enough, maybe you'd make it to paradise. Maybe. But this was something completely different. This was saying that God loved me enough to die for me. That I couldn't earn it, couldn't achieve it, couldn't be good enough on my own. That it was already done, already paid for, already finished. I thought about all those nights kneeling on my prayer rug, begging Allah for help, for guidance, for anything. All those times I'd felt nothing but emptiness and silence. What if I'd been praying to the wrong God? What if Jesus was real? What if he was who these videos claimed he was, not just a prophet, not just a good teacher, but actually God himself, come to rescue us? What if Ahmed was right? I clicked on another video, The Resurrection, Why It Matters. The screen showed historical evidence, eyewitness testimonies, arguments about why the resurrection couldn't have been a lie or a legend. The teacher explained how Jesus' disciples went from terrified, hiding men to bold preachers who were willing to die for their testimony that Jesus rose from the dead. People will die for what they believe is true, the teacher said. But people don't die for what they know is a lie. The disciples didn't just believe Jesus rose, they saw him. They touched him. They ate with him. And they spent the rest of their lives telling everyone about it, even when it cost them everything. Like Ahmed. Ahmed wasn't dying for a belief system. He wasn't dying for rules or traditions or abstract theology. He was dying for a person. For Jesus. Because he'd encountered him somehow, and nothing else mattered anymore. I opened the notes app on the phone. Ahmed had kept a journal. Short entries, scattered over the past 3 months. June 15th, had the dream again. Jesus standing in light, calling my name. I don't understand it, but I can't stop thinking about it. June 22nd, found a website with the Bible in Arabic. Started reading the Gospel of John. The first verse says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." It's talking about Jesus. Could he really be God? July 3rd, I prayed to Jesus for the first time. I felt so guilty, like I was betraying Allah. But I had to know if he's real. I said, "Jesus, if you're really God, show me." Nothing happened. I felt stupid. July 5th, he answered. I was in my room, and suddenly I felt this presence, warm, overwhelming, like being wrapped in light. And I heard a voice, not out loud, but inside my heart, "I love you. I've always loved you. Come to me." I cried for hours. I've never felt anything like that. Never felt so loved, so known, so home. July 18th, I'm reading about grace. In Islam, everything is about what I do, how well I pray, how well I follow the rules. But Jesus says it's about what he did. He died for me. He paid for my sins. I don't have to earn it. How can that be true? It sounds too good to be true. July 30th, I'm sure now. Jesus is real. He's God. He's the truth. I don't know what to do about it. If Father finds out, he'll kill me. But I can't go back. I can't unsee this. I can't unknow him. August 10th, told Jesus today that I'm his. All the way. Whatever it costs. I belong to him now. I feel more free than I've ever felt, even though I'm more trapped than ever. That doesn't make sense, but it's true. August 20th, praying for my brothers. Especially, my name. I can see the emptiness in his eyes. The same emptiness I had. Jesus, please reach him. Please show him what you showed me. Even if I die, please save him. The entries ended there. 3 days before he was caught. I sat on Ahmed's bed, holding his secret phone, reading his words over and over. He'd prayed for me. My little brother, facing death, had spent his time praying for me. And I'd spent the last night praying to Jesus for the first time, not even knowing that Ahmed had been praying I would. Something was breaking inside me. Something hard and protective and carefully constructed over years of pretending everything was fine, pretending I believed, pretending I wasn't drowning in emptiness. I thought about my prayers to Allah. Thousands of them. Tens of thousands. All bouncing off the ceiling and falling back unanswered. And one desperate prayer to Jesus, just one, and suddenly I'd found this phone, found Ahmed's journal, found these videos that were explaining things I'd never understood before. Was that coincidence? Or was it an answer? Jesus, I whispered, alone in Ahmed's room, clutching his phone like a lifeline. Jesus, I don't know if you're listening. I don't know if you're real. But Ahmed believes in you. He's going to die for you. And if you're worth dying for. My voice broke. Tears dripped onto the phone screen. If you're worth dying for, maybe you're worth living for too. Maybe you're what I've been searching for all these years. Maybe you're the reason I've felt so empty, because I was looking in the wrong place. I waited, holding my breath, hoping for something, anything. And then I felt it. Not a voice. Not a vision. Just a sensation, like warmth spreading through my chest, like someone had reached inside my ribcage and touched my heart. Like I wasn't alone in the room anymore. like someone was there with me, listening, caring, loving me. It lasted maybe 5 seconds, maybe 10, but it was real. As real as the phone in my hands, as real as the tears on my face, as real as the terror and hope warring inside me. Jesus was real. Ahmed was right. And I had less than 2 days to figure out what to do about it. I heard footsteps in the hallway, guards changing shifts, maybe, or servants passing by. I quickly hid the phone in my robe pocket, wiped my face, tried to compose myself. I couldn't let anyone know what I'd found. Couldn't let anyone suspect that I was asking questions, having doubts, being infected by the same corruption that had condemned my brother. But I also couldn't pretend anymore. Couldn't go back to the emptiness, the mechanical prayers, the God who never answered. I'd crossed a line I didn't even know existed. And there was no going back. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. I lay in my bed with Ahmed's phone hidden under my pillow, my mind racing, my heart pounding so hard it hurt. Outside my window, the city lights blurred and sparkled through the darkness, thousands of people living their lives, completely unaware that my world was ending. Tomorrow. Dawn tomorrow. In less than 12 hours, Ahmed would die. And I still didn't know what to do. I'd spent the evening watching more videos on Ahmed's phone, reading his journal over and over, absorbing every word like I was starving, and this was the first food I'd seen in years. The stories of Jesus, his teachings, his miracles, his death, his resurrection, they made something in my soul resonate like a tuning fork struck for the first time. But knowing about Jesus wasn't the same as knowing Jesus. Ahmed had encountered him, had heard his voice, had felt his presence so powerfully that he was willing to die rather than deny him. I'd felt that warmth in Ahmed's room earlier, that brief sensation of not being alone, but was that really Jesus? Or was I just emotional, desperate, grasping at anything that might make sense of this nightmare? I rolled over, pressed my face into the pillow, and let out a silent scream of frustration. Jesus, I whispered into the darkness. Ahmed says you're real. He says you love me. He says you died for me. I want to believe that. I want to believe it so badly it hurts. But I need more. I need to know for sure. I need to meet you the way Ahmed met you. Because if you're real, if you're really God, then everything changes. Everything. The air in my room felt heavy, oppressive. Or maybe that was just the weight of 20 years of Islamic conditioning warring against this dangerous new hope trying to take root in my heart. I thought about my father. About what he would do if he knew I was praying to Jesus right now. If he knew I had Ahmed's phone, had watched Christian videos, had read the gospel, had started to believe. He would kill me. Without hesitation. Just like he was going to kill Ahmed. Terror gripped my chest, made it hard to breathe. But underneath the terror, there was something else. Something I hadn't felt in so long I almost didn't recognize it. Hope. The tiniest spark of hope that maybe, just maybe, there was a God who actually loved me. Who saw me. Who wanted me. Not because of what I could do or how well I could perform, but just because I was his. Please, I begged the ceiling, the darkness, the God I wasn't sure was listening. Please show me you're real. I'll do anything. I'll give up anything. Just show me. Exhaustion finally dragged me under sometime around 3 a.m. I fell into sleep like falling off a cliff, sudden, helpless, complete. And then I had the dream. I was standing in the palace courtyard. It was dawn, I could tell by the quality of light, that pale gray gold that comes just before sunrise. But something was wrong. The courtyard was empty. No guards. No servants. No sound at all except my own breathing and the thundering of my heart. I looked down and saw blood on the white marble. Fresh blood, dark red, pooling and spreading. I followed the trail with my eyes and saw him. Ahmed. He was on his knees in the center of the courtyard, hands bound behind his back, head bowed. The executioner stood behind him, a massive figure in black, face covered, sword raised and gleaming in the early light. "No!" I screamed, trying to run to him, but my feet wouldn't move. I was frozen, paralyzed, forced to watch. The sword began to fall. And then everything stopped. The executioner froze mid-swing. The blood on the ground stopped spreading. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. And the light changed. It started as a glow on the horizon, like the sun rising, but brighter. Much brighter. Not harsh, it didn't hurt to look at, but so intense, so pure, that everything else looked gray and dead in comparison. The light grew stronger, closer, until it took form. A man walked out of the light toward me. I knew immediately who he was. I don't know how I knew. I just did. The same way you know your own name, know the sound of your own heartbeat. This was Jesus. He was. I don't have words adequate to describe him. The videos had shown me paintings, icons, artistic representations, but none of them came close. None of them captured the reality of his presence. He looked Middle Eastern, which shouldn't have surprised me but somehow did. Dark hair, olive skin, a beard. He wore simple clothes, a robe the color of undyed wool. But his eyes were what undid me. They were brown, but they held depth I'd never seen in human eyes. Like looking into infinity. Like looking into perfect love and perfect truth and perfect justice all at once. And when those eyes met mine, I felt completely exposed, every secret, every sin, every dark thought I'd ever had laid bare before him. I should have been terrified. Should have been ashamed. Should have run away. But I couldn't move. Couldn't speak. Couldn't do anything but stand there as he walked closer, his feet making no sound on the blood-stained marble. He stopped 3 feet away from me. And he smiled. That smile, I felt it more than saw it. It went through me like sunlight through glass, warming places inside me that had been frozen for so long I'd forgotten what warmth felt like. It was joy and sorrow and infinite compassion all mixed together. It said, "I see you. All of you. And I love you anyway. You called me," he said. His voice. Oh, his voice. It was gentle but powerful, quiet but somehow it filled everything, the courtyard, the sky, my entire being. It resonated in my bones, in my blood, in my soul. It was the most beautiful sound I'd ever heard. I tried to speak, but only a sob came out. "I've been waiting for you," Jesus said, taking another step closer. "I've been calling your name for so long. I'm so glad you finally answered." I don't understand," I managed to whisper. "How can you love me? You don't know me. You don't know what I've done, what I've thought, how many times I know everything about you." His voice was impossibly tender. "I knew you before you were born. I've watched every moment of your life. Every prayer you prayed, even when you thought no one was listening, I was listening. Every tear you cried, I collected them. Every time you felt alone, I was there. But I worshipped the wrong God." The words tore out of me. I prayed to Allah. I followed Islam. I rejected you. How can you still want me? Jesus reached out and placed his hand on my chest, right over my heart. The moment he touched me, I gasped. It felt like electricity and peace at the same time. Like every cell in my body woke up and recognized him. like I'd been dead my entire life and was only now truly alive. You were searching for me, he said. You just didn't know my name. Every prayer you prayed into emptiness was really a prayer to me. Every time you hungered for truth, for love, for something real, you were hungering for me. And I have never stopped pursuing you. Tears streamed down my face. I couldn't stop them, didn't try to stop them. Ahmed is going to die, I choked out. Tomorrow. Because of you. Because he chose you. Jesus' expression filled with such profound sadness that it broke my heart. I know, he said softly. I know what it costs to follow me. I know what Ahmed will face tomorrow. And I know what you're about to face. Can't you stop it? I begged. Can't you save him? You're God. You can do anything. Please. Please don't let them kill him. Jesus' hand was still on my chest, and I felt warmth spreading from that touch, felt love so overwhelming it was almost painful. Ahmed is already saved, he said. Not from death, from something far worse. He's saved from the emptiness you felt. From the searching that never ends. From the God who never answers. I have given him life, real life, eternal life, and nothing, not even death, can take that away from him. But I'll lose him. I'll be alone. You will never be alone again. Jesus' voice was firm now, authoritative. I am with you. Always. Even when you can't feel me, even when you can't see me, I am there. I will never leave you. I will never abandon you. This is my promise. He moved his hand from my chest to my face, cupping my cheek the way a father would, a real father, not the monster in the palace who called himself one. Listen to me carefully, Jesus said, his eyes boring into mine. What happens tomorrow will be terrible. It will break your heart. It will test your faith before your faith has even had time to grow. But I need you to trust me. I need you to believe that I am in control, even when everything feels like chaos. How can I trust you? I whispered. I barely know you. Because I have already proven my love for you. His thumb wiped away my tears. I died for you. I took every sin, every failure, every broken piece of you onto myself and paid the price so you could be free. I rose from death to give you life. What more proof do you need than that? Something shifted inside me. Something fundamental, foundational, deep in my core. He was right. If he really was who he claimed to be, if he really was God in flesh, if he really had died for me, if he really had conquered death, then what else mattered? What could possibly compare to that kind of love? I believe you, I said, and as I spoke the words, I felt them become true. I believe you're real. I believe you're God. I believe you died for me and rose again. I believe. I know. Jesus smiled again, and this time it was radiant, victorious, full of joy. I know you believe. And that's all I need. That faith, even as small as it is right now, is enough. I will grow it. I will strengthen it. I will teach you to walk with me. He glanced over at Ahmed, still frozen in that horrible tableau, kneeling, bound, waiting for death. Tomorrow, you will see something that will shake the world, Jesus said. Something that will prove to everyone watching that I am real, that I am powerful, and that those who belong to me are never truly defeated. I need you to watch carefully. I need you to remember everything. Because you're going to tell this story. What story? I asked. Ahmed's story. Your story. My story. Jesus looked back at me. You're going to tell people what I did. How I rescued you from darkness. How I proved my power. How death doesn't have the final word, I do. But my Father, he'll kill me too if he knows I believe in you. Yes, Jesus said simply. He might. Following me will cost you everything. Your family. Your wealth. Your safety. Your old life. I won't lie to you about that. The road ahead is hard. Painful. Sometimes terrifying. He leaned closer, and his presence was so overwhelming I felt like I might shatter. But I am worth it, he said. Losing everything to gain me is not loss, it's the greatest treasure you could ever find. And I will be with you through every moment, every trial, every persecution, every tear. I will sustain you. I will strengthen you. And one day, I will bring you home to me, where there is no more pain, no more death, no more sorrow. Only joy. Forever. I fell to my knees. I couldn't help it. The weight of his presence, his love, his truth, it was too much to stand under. I'm yours, I said, my voice shaking. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to follow you. I don't know anything. But I'm yours. Whatever it costs. Whatever happens. I choose you. Jesus knelt down in front of me, took my face in both his hands, and pressed his forehead to mine. My son, he whispered. My beloved son. Welcome home. And then he kissed my forehead, and the touch sent light exploding through my entire body. I felt chains I didn't know I was wearing shatter and fall away. I felt the darkness that had lived inside me for 20 years evaporate like fog in sunlight. I felt clean, pure, new, born again. I was sobbing, laughing, shaking all at once. Tomorrow, Jesus said, standing and pulling me to my feet, watch for my hand. Watch for my power. And then run. Run far from here. Run to safety. I have work for you to do, and you cannot do it if you're dead. Where do I go? I will guide you. Step by step. Just listen for my voice. Trust me. And remember, I am always with you. He started to fade back into the light, becoming brighter, more intense. Wait. I called out. Will I see Ahmed again? After tomorrow, will he be okay? Jesus looked back at me, and his smile was full of mystery and promise. Ahmed will be more than okay, he said. He will be home. And yes, you will see him again. Not in this life, but in the next. I promise you. Then the light blazed so bright I had to close my eyes, and I felt myself falling. I jolted awake in my bed, gasping, drenched in sweat. My room was dark, silent. The clock on my wall read 4:47 a.m. For a moment, I wondered if it had all been just a dream. Just my desperate mind conjuring up what I wanted to believe. But then I felt it. The warmth still lingered in my chest where Jesus had touched me. The peace still wrapped around me like a blanket. And something else, a presence, gentle but undeniable, like someone standing just behind me, hand on my shoulder. I wasn't alone in this room. Jesus was here. Really here. Not visible, not tangible, but absolutely, undeniably present. You're real, I whispered into the darkness, tears streaming down my face again. You're really real. And deep in my spirit, I heard his voice, not audible, but clearer than if he'd spoken out loud. I am. I always have been. And I always will be. Trust me, beloved. Trust me with what comes next. I pressed my hand to my chest and felt my heart beating strong and steady. I was different. Changed. In one encounter, in one dream, Jesus had reached into my soul and transformed everything. I believed. Not because I understood everything. Not because I had all the answers. But because I had met him. And once you meet Jesus, really meet him, nothing is ever the same again. Dawn was coming. Ahmed's execution was in less than 3 hours. And Jesus had told me to watch for his hand, for his power, for proof that he was real and that death didn't have the final word. I got out of bed, fell to my knees, and prayed to Jesus for the second time. But this time, I wasn't praying into emptiness. I was praying to someone I knew was listening. Someone who loved me. Someone who had just changed my life forever. The palace woke before dawn. I heard them preparing, boots on marble, low voices in the hallways, the metallic clink of weapons being readied. The machinery of execution moving into position like clockwork, cold and efficient and unstoppable. I stood at my window, watching the darkness slowly bleed into gray. Somewhere in this palace, Ahmed was being taken from his cell. They would wash him, the way you wash a body before burial. They would give him a final meal he probably wouldn't eat. They would ask him one last time to recant, to renounce Jesus, to beg Allah's forgiveness. And he would refuse. Because Ahmed had met Jesus. And once you meet Jesus, nothing else matters. I knew that now. I'd met him too, just hours ago. That dream, that encounter, it was more real than anything I'd experienced in my waking life. The warmth of his presence still lingered in my chest. His words still echoed in my spirit, watch for my hand. Watch for my power. A knock on my door made me flinch. It's time, Khalid's voice came through, heavy with dread. I opened the door. My older brother stood there in full military dress uniform, medals gleaming, but his face was ashen. His eyes were red-rimmed, and his hands trembled slightly before he shoved them behind his back. Father wants us in the courtyard in 15 minutes, Khalid said, his voice carefully controlled. The proceedings will begin at sunrise. He expects us to stand with him. To show unity. Unity. What a sick word for what we were about to do. Did you see Ahmed? I asked. Did you talk to him? Khalid's jaw clenched. He was praying. To Jesus. Even now, even knowing what's about to happen, he was praying to that dead godlike. He's not dead, I said quietly. Khalid's eyes snapped to mine. What? I shouldn't have said anything. Should have kept my mouth shut, protected myself. But something had shifted inside me during that dream. I couldn't pretend anymore. Couldn't lie anymore. Jesus isn't dead, I said, meeting Khalid's stare. He rose from the grave. He's alive. Ahmed knows that. That's why he's not afraid. The silence stretched between us, dangerous and electric. Don't, Khalid finally whispered, his voice cracking. Don't you start this too. I can't lose both of you. Please. He grabbed my shoulders, his fingers digging in desperately. Just keep your mouth shut, Khalid hissed. Stand there, say nothing, let it happen, and then we survive. We move on. We forget. Please. I'm begging you. I saw the terror in his eyes, not just fear of losing us, but fear of his own doubts. Fear that maybe Ahmed was right. Maybe there was something more than the empty religion we'd been force-fed our entire lives. But Khalid was too scared to explore those questions. Too scared of what the answers might cost him. I'm sorry, I said softly. I can't forget. And neither will you. Khalid released me, stepped back, his face hardening into the soldier's mask he wore so well. I heard someone scream. Maybe it was me. Ahmed's head lay there, eyes wide open, and his mouth moved. No. No, that was impossible. Medically impossible. You can't speak without lungs, without a throat connected to your vocal cords, without. But his lips were moving, forming words. And then sound came out. Quiet at first, then stronger, impossibly, horrifyingly, miraculously, his voice. Jesus is Lord. 3 words. Clear. Undeniable. The courtyard erupted in chaos. People were screaming, backing away, falling to their knees. The executioner stumbled backward off the platform, dropping his sword with a clatter. The religious leaders were shouting that it was demonic, that it was sorcery, that it couldn't be real. But it was real. Ahmed's severed head lay on the platform, eyes open, mouth moving, voice speaking what should have been impossible to speak. Jesus is Lord, the voice said again, stronger now. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Over and over, like a declaration, like a testimony, like a battle cry that death itself couldn't silence. I was shaking, tears streaming down my face, my mind trying to process what I was seeing. This was it. This was what Jesus had promised. Watch for my hand. Watch for my power. Jesus was proving himself. Proving he was real. Proving he was God. Proving that death didn't have the final word, he did. My father stood frozen, staring at Ahmed's head, his face pale as death itself. Stop it, he screamed suddenly. Make it stop. But no one could make it stop. Because this wasn't natural. This wasn't medical. This wasn't explainable by any human means. This was supernatural. This was God. Jesus is Lord, Ahmed's voice continued, unwavering, powerful, impossible. Jesus is Lord. And then the light came. It started as a glow around Ahmed's body, both parts of it, the body and the severed head. Soft at first, then brighter, intensifying until it was almost blinding. The same light I'd seen in my dream. The presence of Jesus. I felt it wash over the courtyard like a wave, overwhelming, undeniable, holy. Some people fell to their faces. Others ran. Khalid grabbed onto me, his fingers digging into my arm, his whole body trembling. What's happening? He gasped. What? I asked this. It's Jesus, I said, my voice filled with awe and terror and joy all mixed together. It's Jesus proving he's real. The light grew brighter still, and then I heard it not with my ears, but with something deeper. A voice that filled everything. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. He has been faithful unto death. Now he receives his reward. And Ahmed's voice, one final time, echoing across the courtyard. Into your hands, I commit my spirit. Then the light flashed so bright I had to close my eyes, and when I opened them again, it was gone. The glow had vanished. Ahmed's body lay still. His head lay silent. But the courtyard was transformed. The marble where his blood had spilled, it was glowing, faintly, with that same light. And where the blood had touched the stone, flowers were growing. Actually growing, impossibly, right before our eyes. White lilies, pushing up through cracks in the marble, blooming in seconds. Life from death. Resurrection. Jesus' signature. The silence was absolute. No one spoke. No one moved. Then one of the guards, a hardened soldier who'd witnessed countless executions, fell to his knees. He was the Son of God, the guard whispered, his voice shaking. Truly, he was righteous. My father spun toward him, rage contorting his features. Silence, he roared. This was demonic deception. Sorcery. This changes nothing. But it changed everything. I looked around the courtyard and saw it on every face: shock, terror, confusion, and in some, belief. Dawning, terrified belief that maybe Ahmed had been right. Maybe Jesus was real. Maybe we'd just witnessed God Himself intervening in human affairs. My father's carefully constructed execution had just become the most powerful testimony for Christ anyone could have imagined. "Get rid of this," my father screamed at the guards, gesturing wildly at Ahmed's body. "Burn it. Bury it. I don't care, just get it out of my sight." The guards moved reluctantly, terrified to touch the body, terrified of what might happen next. My father turned to address the witnesses, his voice desperate now, losing control. "You will speak of this to no one," he commanded. What happened here was the result of dark magic, of Christian corruption. Ahmed made a deal with demons to create this illusion. It means nothing. But I saw it in their eyes. They didn't believe him. Couldn't believe him. Because what we'd witnessed was too powerful, too undeniable, too obviously divine. Death had spoken. The impossible had happened. And Jesus had proven He was exactly who He claimed to be. My father's gaze swept across the witnesses and landed on me. For a moment, our eyes locked. He saw something in my face. I don't know what, maybe the tears, maybe the awe, maybe the transformation that had happened inside me. His eyes narrowed. "Does it matter? I'm a Christian. We help people like you, people fleeing persecution, people who've converted and need to disappear before their families murder them. There's a network. Safe houses. Escape routes. New identities. But we have to move now." My mind raced. This was insane. I didn't know this man. Didn't know if I could trust him. Didn't know if this was rescue or just a different kind of trap. But Jesus had said to run. Had told me I couldn't do the work He had for me if I was dead. "How do I know you're really Christian?" I asked. "How do I know this isn't?" "Because Jesus is Lord," the young man said, looking me straight in the eye. "He died for our sins and rose again. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And your brother Ahmed just proved it to the entire world. The same words Ahmed had spoken. The same truth that had gotten him killed. This man believed. Really believed. Enough to risk his life climbing palace walls to rescue a prince he'd never met. "Give me 2 minutes," I said. I grabbed Ahmed's hidden phone from under my pillow, the only thing I owned that mattered now. No clothes, no money, no identification. Just the phone with the videos and journal that had started my journey to Jesus. The young man had secured a rope to something on the roof. "It's a 20-foot drop. Can you climb?" I looked down. The garden below was dark, shadowed. Guards patrolled the grounds, but their routes were predictable. I'd watched them my entire life. Could I do this? Could I really leave everything, my family, my wealth, my identity, my entire life, and climb out a window into total uncertainty? "Trust me," that gentle voice whispered in my spirit. "I've got you." "I can climb," I said. I swung my legs over the windowsill, gripped the rope, and lowered myself into the darkness. The next hour was a blur of adrenaline and terror. We dropped into the gardens and immediately pressed ourselves against the wall, hearts pounding as a guard passed 15 feet away. The young man, he told me his name was Yusuf, moved with the confidence of someone who'd done this before. He knew the blind spots, the timing of patrols, the exact route that would get us to the palace walls without being seen. We climbed. My hands slipped on the ancient stone, scraped and bleeding, but Yusuf steadied me, urged me forward. At the top of the wall, I looked back one last time. The palace sprawled below me, my prison, my home, the only life I'd ever known. Lights blazed in windows. Some were in there. My father was planning damage control, ordering executions, trying desperately to bury the truth that had exploded into the world today. Some were in there. Khalid was probably wondering where I was. Probably already knew I'd escaped. Probably had a choice to make about whether to sound the alarm or give me a head start. And somewhere in a morgue, or already cremated to destroy the evidence, Ahmed's body lay cold and still. But Ahmed himself? Ahmed was with Jesus. Home. Free. Victorious in ways none of us could fully understand. "We have to go," Yusuf whispered urgently. I turned away from my old life and dropped down the outside of the wall. We ran through dark streets, keeping to alleys and shadows. I'd never been outside the palace without guards, without cars, without the protective bubble of wealth and power. The city at night was different, dangerous, alive, full of people I'd never noticed before. Yusuf led me to a battered van parked in a narrow alley. He knocked 3 times, paused, knocked twice more. The back door opened, and a woman's face appeared, middle-aged, kind eyes, wearing a hijab. "Is this him?" she asked in Arabic. "Yes. This is Ahmed's brother." The woman's expression softened with compassion and grief. "I saw the video. Your brother was very brave. Very faithful. Come, quickly. We need to get you out of the city before your father realizes you're gone." I climbed into the van. Inside were blankets, water bottles, food, and 3 other people, 2 men and a young woman, all looking terrified. "They're converts too," Yusuf explained, climbing in after me. "Fleeing their families. We're taking all of you to a safe house about 3 hours from here. From there, we'll get you new documents, new identities, and transport to different countries where you can live without fear of execution." The van started moving, and I felt reality sinking in. I was a fugitive now. A runaway. A traitor to my family and my country. I had no money, no identification, no plan. Everything I'd built my identity on for 20 years was gone. But I had Jesus. And somehow, that was enough. The drive took 4 hours, not 3. We had to take back roads, avoid checkpoints, navigate around areas where my father's influence was strongest. Every time we saw police lights, my heart stopped. Every time we passed through a town, I ducked lower in the van, terrified someone would recognize me. The other refugees were silent, lost in their own trauma. The young woman, she couldn't have been more than 17, cried quietly into her hands. One of the men had bruises on his face, a split lip. Evidence of the beating he'd received when his family discovered his conversion. We were all broken. All fleeing. All refugees from Islam, from families that valued honor more than love, from a religion that demanded death for questioning it. But we were alive. And we were free. The safe house was a small farm on the outskirts of a rural town. Remote. Isolated. Easy to defend. The woman who owned it, Sister Miriam, they called her, was in her 60s, weathered and strong, with eyes that had seen too much suffering but still held fierce love. "Welcome," she said as we stumbled out of the van, exhausted and terrified. "You're safe here. No one will hurt you. You are with family now." Family. The word made my chest ache. I'd just lost my family. Or they'd lost me. Either way, I was alone. Except I wasn't. These people, strangers, really, they welcomed us with open arms. Fed us hot food. Gave us clean clothes and soft beds. Prayed over us, thanking Jesus for our safety, asking him to heal our trauma. I sat at Sister Miriam's table, eating soup I could barely taste, surrounded by people who'd risked everything to rescue me, and I started to understand something. This was the body of Christ. This was what Jesus had meant when he said his followers would be known by their love. These people had nothing to gain from helping me. They could be killed for harboring fugitives, for aiding apostates. But they did it anyway because Jesus had commanded them to love, to serve, to sacrifice. My father's version of Islam had been all about power and control and maintaining appearances. But Jesus's way was completely opposite, laying down your life for others, giving up everything to help the least, serving rather than being served. After dinner, Sister Miriam sat with me on the small porch, looking out at fields bathed in moonlight. "You've lost much today," she said gently. "Your brother. Your family. Your home. I know the grief must be overwhelming." I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. "But you've gained much too," she continued. "You've gained Jesus. You've gained eternal life. You've gained brothers and sisters all over the world who will love you and support you and stand with you no matter what comes." "Ahmed said something similar," I whispered. "In his cell, before he died. He said following Jesus cost him everything, but it was worth it." Was he right? I thought about that morning. About watching my brother die. About his severed head speaking truth that death couldn't silence. About the light, the presence, the undeniable proof that Jesus was real and powerful and worth dying for. "Yes," I said. "He was right. I miss him so much it hurts. But he's with Jesus now. He's free. And somehow that makes it okay. Not easy, but okay." Sister Miriam smiled. "Your brother's testimony is spreading like wildfire. The video has been shared millions of times. People are coming to Christ because of what they saw: Muslims, atheists, skeptics. They're seeing that Jesus is real, that he has power over death itself. Ahmed's sacrifice wasn't in vain. His death is bringing life to countless others." Tears streamed down my face. "He told me to tell people. Before he died, he told me to tell his story." "Then that's what you'll do," Sister Miriam said firmly. "When you're ready, when you're healed enough, you'll tell the world what Jesus did. How he proved himself. How he saved you and Ahmed. You'll be a witness." "I don't know how," I admitted. "I barely understand any of this. I've only been a Christian for one day. I don't know the Bible. I don't know how to pray properly. I don't know." "None of that matters," she interrupted gently. "You don't need to be a scholar or a theologian. You just need to tell the truth about what you saw and what Jesus did for you. That's all a testimony is, the truth spoken with love." She stood up, placed her weathered hand on my head like a blessing. "Rest now. Heal. Learn. Grow. And when the time comes, Jesus will give you the words. He always does." I stayed at the safe house for 3 weeks. During that time, news filtered in from the outside world. The video of Ahmed's execution had gone mega-viral, over 50 million views and climbing. Islamic leaders were calling it fake, claiming it was edited, insisting it was Western propaganda designed to make Islam look bad. But too many people had been there. Too many witnesses confirmed that yes, Ahmed's severed head had spoken. Yes, there had been light. Yes, flowers had grown from his blood. My father was in damage control mode, giving interviews insisting Ahmed had been involved in sorcery and dark magic, that Christian demons had animated his corpse to deceive people. But even the reporters looked skeptical. The truth was undeniable. Jesus had proven himself to the world through my brother's death. And people were responding. Reports came in of conversions all over the Muslim world, people watching the video, seeing the impossible, and deciding to investigate this Jesus who could make dead men speak. Churches were reporting hundreds of Muslims showing up at their doors, asking questions, wanting to know more about the God who had such power over death. Ahmed's prayer had been answered. People were coming to Christ because of his testimony. During those 3 weeks, I devoured the Bible like a starving man. Read the Gospels over and over, absorbing Jesus' words, his teachings, his miracles, his death and resurrection. Learn to pray not ritual prayers, but real conversation with the God who loved me enough to die for me. And slowly, painfully, I began to heal. The grief didn't disappear. I still woke up crying some nights, remembering Ahmed's smile, his voice, the way he'd looked at me through the prison bars and told me Jesus was worth dying for. But underneath the grief was something stronger: hope, purpose. The absolute certainty that Jesus was real, that he was with me, that he had a plan for my life even when I couldn't see it. On the 21st day, Yusuf arrived with new documents. "Your name is now David Mansour," he said, handing me a passport, ID cards, even a driver's license from a different country. "According to these papers, you're a Christian refugee from Syria who's been granted asylum in Jordan. From there, we'll get you to Europe, probably Germany or Sweden. They're taking refugees. You'll be able to start over. Build a new life." I stared at the documents. The photo was me, but everything else was a lie. A necessary lie, but still. "I'll never see my family again, will I?" I asked quietly. Yusuf's expression was compassionate but honest. "Your father has put a bounty on your head. $500,000 to anyone who delivers you back to him, dead or alive. You can never return home. If you do, you'll be killed." I'm sorry. The finality of it hit me hard. Khalid. My mother. Even my father, monster though he was. I would never see them again. Never talk to them. Never have the chance to tell them about Jesus. Can I at least write them a letter? I asked. Something they could read after I'm gone? To explain? To tell them why? Yusuf hesitated. It's risky. If it's intercepted. Please. I need them to know. I need them to understand that I'm not betraying them. I'm just choosing truth. One letter, Yusuf finally agreed. We'll make sure it gets to them through channels your father can't trace. But after that, no contact. Ever. For your safety and theirs. That night, I wrote 3 letters. One to Khalid, telling him I forgave him for not standing up for Ahmed, for choosing safety over truth. Telling him I loved him. Begging him to investigate Jesus for himself, to not let fear keep him from the truth. One to my mother, thanking her for the love she'd shown us even when father demanded coldness. Telling her Ahmed was at peace, that I was at peace, that Jesus had healed the emptiness we'd all felt. And one to my father. That letter was the hardest. I wanted to rage at him, to curse him for murdering his own son, for choosing power over love. But Jesus whispered in my spirit, forgive him. Love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. So I did. I told my father I forgave him. I told him Jesus loved him even after everything he'd done. I told him it wasn't too late to repent, to turn to the God who offered mercy even to murderers. I doubted he would read it. Doubted even more that he would listen. But Jesus answers. Jesus speaks. Jesus is alive and active and intimately involved in the lives of his children. If you're Muslim and you're watching this, I'm begging you, investigate Jesus for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. Don't just accept what your imams tell you. Read the Bible. The Gospel of John is a good place to start. Ask Jesus to reveal himself to you. He will. I promise you, he will. Yes, it might cost you everything. It cost Ahmed his life. It cost me my family, my wealth, my home, my identity. Following Jesus is not safe. It's not easy. It's not comfortable. But he is worth it. He is worth everything. Or maybe you're not Muslim. Maybe you're atheist, agnostic, spiritual but not religious. Maybe you think all religions are basically the same, that it doesn't really matter what you believe as long as you're a good person. I used to think that too. I thought all paths led to God, that sincerity was what mattered. But then I met Jesus. And I realized he's not just another religious teacher. He's not just a prophet or a wise man or a good moral example. He's God. Actually God. The creator of the universe in human flesh, come to rescue us from our sin, our brokenness, our separation from him. And he didn't just teach about love, he demonstrated it by dying in our place, taking the punishment we deserved so we could have the relationship with God we were created for. No other religion offers that. No other God has done that. Only Jesus. The video of Ahmed proves it. Death couldn't hold him silent. Jesus gave him words to speak even after his head was severed from his body. That's not natural. That's not explainable by science or psychology or anything human. That's divine intervention. That's God proving he's real and powerful and worth dying for. Or maybe you're already Christian. Maybe you've followed Jesus for years. Maybe you've gotten comfortable, complacent, too settled in your faith. Let Ahmed's story wake you up. Christianity isn't supposed to be safe and comfortable. It's supposed to be radical, costly, all-consuming. Jesus doesn't just want part of your life, he wants all of it. Your time, your money, your dreams, your plans, your everything. And when you give it to him, when you really surrender everything and say, I'm yours, completely yours, that's when you discover that what you gave up was nothing compared to what you gained. Ahmed understood that. He was 15 years old and he understood what most of us miss our entire lives. Jesus is the treasure worth selling everything to obtain. He's the pearl of great price. He's worth losing your life for, because in losing your life, you actually find it. I want to pray with you right now. Wherever you are, at home, in your car, on your phone, I want to invite you to give your life to Jesus. Not to a religion. Not to a set of rules. To a person. To Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who loved you enough to die for you and rose again to give you eternal life. If you've never done that before, or if you did it once but walked away and now you're coming back, this is your moment. Don't wait. Don't put it off. Don't tell yourself you'll do it later when you have it all figured out. You'll never have it all figured out. None of us do. Just come to Jesus as you are broken, confused, messed up, whatever. He doesn't need you to clean yourself up first. He'll do the cleaning. You just need to come. And if you're Muslim, I know this is terrifying. I know you're risking everything, your family, your community, maybe your life. I know the cost is real and heavy and overwhelming.